Hello, everyone. This is Archive of 12, and today we have a Star Wars fan film called Target Rich Environment. I've been looking forward to seeing this for a little while now. Unfortunately, this is the first time I've actually sat down to be able to watch it. But this has been something that popped up on my feed a while ago, and I put it on several reaction lists. So we're finally going to get around to seeing it today. Link will be in the description below if you want to watch this without my commentary, because I will be pausing and we'll be talking about it. And without further ado, let's get started. Because honestly, it's Star Wars, and I don't really have anything else to say. I already know that I'm going to enjoy this. Yeah. Is this in the best quality that we can get? Looks like it. All right, so a TIE Hunter. Interesting, interesting choice of words there. The TIE Hunters, if I remember correctly, from Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3 are basically like the TIE version of X-Wings. And that might sound like the TIE Interceptor, but the TIE Hunters actually have wings that fold in and out, similar to X-Wing S-foils. And they have two blaster cannons, two ion cannons, and a torpedo tube. And they were meant to be elite, like lower tier versions of like the TIE Defender. So cheaper to produce, but almost as effective. And it was honestly one of the best ships in Rogue Squadron 3. So the fact that they're specifically saying TIE Hunter in this makes me think that we might see that Legend Starship come in. Although these just look like regular TIE fighters. Well, TIE fighters, except that lead one looks like it's got either a sensor or communication device, or maybe an extra laser cannon attached to the top. Uh-oh. That's not good. The veteran. The veteran needs a new X-Wing. You know, it's interesting and kind of funny. Okay, so here's the thing that I'm noticing about this right now. Now, this is obviously the T-65 X-Wing from the veteran, and um the ship that the other one is using is looks like it's the sequel trilogy T-70 X-Wing. But the thing about the T-70 X-Wing is that it's based off of the prototype design of the T-65 X-Wing from the original series. I know this because back in the late 90s, early 2000s, Star Wars actually created a line of ships where you had like little pilots and little astromech droids and a ship that was to scale with those pilots. And sometimes, if you got like the deluxe edition of those, you would get a smaller version, smaller model kit of the prototype design that was meant for those ships. Um, Things like the X-Wing prototypes got reused. Like the design is not quite the same, but very, very similar to what we see in the sequel trilogy for the T-70 X-Wings. Whereas with the another one that I had was the AT-AT Walker. And the funny thing about that is that the AT-AT Walker's prototype design is actually seen in Star Wars Rebels. The AT-AT Walkers that you see in Star Wars Rebels in the first couple of seasons when they first get introduced are based off of the prototype AT-AT Walker. Um, just like the what is it, the AT-DP that they use at the beginning of Star Wars Rebels before the AT-ST comes in, is actually based off of a design from Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds, which was basically the Star Wars version of Age of Empires 2. It was the light AT-ST that eventually gets upgraded into the regular AT-ST. Um, so like it's these prototype designs that were around for a long time, at least since the 70s, obviously. are getting reused in Star Wars, and that's something that they've been doing since the Clone Wars, using, like, character designs and whatnot. Obviously, Zeb from Rebels is based off of the original design for Chewbacca, and the original design for R2-D2 and C-3PO appeared in Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars, I believe. But when I look at this, which I'm fairly certain this blue one is supposed to be the T-70 X-Wing, it looks like the prototype T-65. And I find it interesting because it makes me wonder, this must be set, like, before the sequel trilogy or maybe during the sequel trilogy. But those didn't look like First Order fighters, they look like Imperial TIE fighters. So, I don't know. The hot shot. Okay, you got the veteran and the hot shot. Dude, hot shot. You're flying by so many TIE fighters and allowing them to get to your flank. What are you doing? This is stupid practice. Okay. Okay. See, you've got three TIE fighters on you now because you flew by them. Oh, wait. Did he get hit? Oh, yeah, he got hit. Okay. In an asteroid field, awful time to lose power. All right, hotshot. Consider yourself extremely lucky. Yeah, those are definitely Imperial ties. I mean, I guess you could count that as 2 kills. I feel like the TIE fighters were just as capable of running into those asteroid fields because those giant solar panel wings are just awful. Those the TIEs are nimble and maneuverable, but those things are awful for flying against space debris. Oh, nice. Excellent. The Baron. Oh, it is a third laser cannon. Is that supposed to be like it said the Baron, so like is that supposed to be like kind of nodding at Baron Boontier Fell, the essentially the Red Baron of the Legends continuity? Oh, that's actually a cool upgrade. Makes me wonder how that arm works. Like, is that like an automated feature where the cannon fires automatically, or does he still have to like manually fire the gun? Because if it was automated, it would make sense. They could easily put a droid brain inside the third gun, and the third gun could then pivot around to defend from the rear. But if it is manual, this guy has to be like an expert level pilot to be able to maneuver, fire at something behind him that he can't see, and something ahead of him. I mean, I suppose they could have had like a camera or something, but there's no view screens in the TIE fighter. So like it would make the most sense to have that as an automated feature. There's the hunter. I mean, it's not a true TIE hunter. I feel like that's based off of the TIE fighter that what's his face? Gideon used at the beginning or the end of The Mandalorian season 1. like that, what was it, the TIE Outlander, I think it was called, not the TIE Hunter. TIE Hunter actually had like its wings were triangular shaped and they opened and closed just like X-wings. The TIE Outlander is very similar, but it uses regular TIE fighter wings. Smart. I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't use more about like the veterans' wings malfunctioning. I think that must have just been to talk about the fact that it's an older model starship. No, now the veteran, or now the hot shots malfunctioning. Well, that sucks. But then again, the hotshot did take some damage because he was being a bit of an idiot. That was fun. I
Do it.
enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. That was a lot of fun. Excellent. Excellent. I loved it. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I am Markov12, and I will see you in the next video.